Yo, you already know what it is. It's Tri-Town Tory coming to you live from the Northwest. I'll be here a part of the incredible Tri-Cities mixtape umbrella. Today I have a very special guest, somebody who I admire, somebody who is really smooth and slick in her game, somebody who kills it in the business world and on a marketing level. If you can recognize these things, then game recognizes game. So very happy to have you here on Tory Talk podcast. How are you doing? Are you having a good day today?
Absolutely. And thank you very much. I'm Nereida Cruz and very happy to be here with you on this wonderful day.
We have a lot of things to talk about today. Before we get into that, I want to speak about a little project that I've been working on lately. I knew that I wanted to drop some new music. I think I was sick for like a week or something. You know, when you're sick and you can't do shit, you just stay home. And I got artistic. I started writing music. I got in a real throwback vibe. I started playing old music and watching old movies and stuff like that, and I wrote a nice little project. I think it's really good. I talked to a lot of my friends that rap, people who I respect. They joke around that the old me is back. It's funny because
that's awesome.
Yeah, because I've been rapping for it's funny, 20 years now. Like, I've just been competitively rapping.
20 years?
Yeah, since I was 12 years old, like just a young guy, right? So to go through so many different stages as an artist, and I have so many friends in the industry that recognize you for so many different areas. It's kind of a blessing. But working on this new album, this new project, it's really opened my eyes to like what music means to me and like what it could mean here in the Tri-Cities, especially for people who have like dreams and aspirations to do more with their life here. So that's what like the whole graveyard shift here in the Tri-Cities, what I'm trying to do is like create like opportunities and spaces for people to like create art and do podcasts and YouTube content and things of that nature.
Yes, I've seen some of your content. How do you feel about not only being a musician, but also being able to influence people? Because once you're on social media, it changes the entire atmosphere, who you follow, what you see. It's like the television that guides other people, not only 100%. You, but it keeps you also on a different frequency, even just by who you follow.
No, 100%, and we'll have to get more into that after we have our conversation today. But yeah, so wrapping up this album and getting it ready to come out. It drops actually on the 28th of March. So it's going to be on Spotify, Apple Music, and things of that nature. So, but yes, today we have a very powerful woman. I always consider you a very powerful woman. Heard of you years ago. Your name's been ringing bells for a long time. You've been involved in radio. Yes. Here in the Tri-Cities. We came together and we worked together on a show years ago. All these years passed by, and I see that you've solidified your branding and your empire and the things that you work on now. Can you kind of tell us who you are in an entrepreneurial business aspect, what you do, what your brands are, what they mean individualized?
Yes, so I started in 2012 with NCNC, which is a brick and mortar company. People could come and have drinks and sit down and chit chat and do work, and it evolved from a drink shop to NPire Enterprises, which is where you came in. That's where in 2016, we did Battle of the Bands. And ever since then, I've been going to events and have the brand NPire Enterprises. I did have a great woman from the Tri-Cities, from Richland, Tanya Falk, helped me with the structure of NPire Enterprises. So that umbrella of businesses that was being created in 2016, and it evolved with mentorship, and which is Affluent Mentor, and that is more mentorship, knowledge, teaching, and sharing my experience as a networker, as a influencer, with business being a big portion of what I taught. And a lot of that is in my YouTube channel. People are able to go and see the book that I was a part of, Your Inner Evolution. And that one, Jane Lawrence, a woman from New York, was able to help me put all of that together and have it be a finished project. So it was great being able to do all these projects, businesses that still remain, and I'm just growing within those businesses more and more.
What was that like, being a part of that book? What was that process like? How was that? Was that a lot of fun?
It was fun. It was actually speaking about my experience as an entrepreneur since 2012 and the experiences that I went through, the things that might not be so comforting being a businesswoman, having to also juggle family, relationships, and being able to manage employees. So it could get a bit complicated in the process, but I wouldn't trade it for anything because I feel like I learned a lot and I pushed myself to be able to create more and more. So there I share my story as like I was so focused on business that I had a speeding ticket I didn't pay and it was sent to an address that I never got the court date for. So having to go through getting pulled over with my daughter in the back seat and having to call her aunt and then me going to jail for a few hours. And obviously it's not a fun experience, but it's things that we go through because there's so much on our plate. So it's just part of life. Business affects life, and that's why we want to have things balanced.
No, 100%. Been a long journey for you, carving out your niche and the things that you wanted to do as like a businesswoman and where you wanted to align your businesses, like the individual businesses that you do. Where do you see the future, like where you want to take your imprint or your impact here, like locally, even online?
Locally, do more interviews. So I appreciate being a part of the Tory Talk show. So definitely more interviews, more pictures,
yes,
and strategic partnerships. Yeah, just growing with the community that I already have built online. I have over 5 million people in different pages. I have about 6 or 7 pages on Facebook that add up to over 5 million people. A lot of them are Spanish speaking, and my network is probably wondering why I'm doing more English posts. But yes, when I think in English. So it's interesting that when I write it down, I have to decide, am I going to speak in English or am I going to speak in Spanish? And if I go based off my authentic way of speaking, I would speak in English.
Awesome. Because it really shows where your demographic is and the way that you choose to present your posts and things like that.
To still be a leader, even though it may not make sense, because a lot of the times it'd be it's mostly Spanish speaking, but yeah.
No, definitely. Speaking of which, I do have a question for you, being a female entrepreneur. What has been one of the biggest difficulties that you've had to face?
Being a female entrepreneur, I definitely went through a phase where I thought it was not worth it because my job affected my family and vice versa. So I would have wanted to just not do anything that had to do with business, and that's not in me. I like to build, I like to create, I like to show up, but now I show up more differently. I show up less in person and more through a phone or a laptop, and I really like that because it's something that you create once and then you share it to lots of people, and they're able to go on their own time and listen to what was recorded and know that, hey, that's Nereida Cruz. That's what she enjoys to do. Obviously, if I had to pick between my career and my daughters, I would want to spend the entire time with my kids. I arranged my life when I did have a relationship so that I could be more powerfully in my relationship and growing my child, making sure that I was there for her first steps and being able to teach her things. But it does get to the point where everything has to align, and if I'm spending too much time in one area, then I'm not going to be able to be a great mentor and charging the prices that I charge. So I had to arrange things and go back to understanding that I want to spend 24 hours a day with my kids, but I can't. I have to make that space to be able to also dedicate that time to my students as a mentor.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. You got to figure out what you're willing to part as far as your time goes, especially with
Yes.
when it comes to your little ones, right? You know, you don't get a ton of extra time outside of, you know, just the things that you have to do already as it is.
Yes, and deciding what DM I'm going to actually open or which phone call I'm actually going to answer. So
and there's a lot of uncertainty too, and a lot of like the line of business, you know, like dealing with so many people.
Yes.
It could be such a waste of time dealing with a lot of inboxes and emails.
It gets overwhelming. It really does. I'm grateful that people want to be able to connect with me, but I don't know their history or their story or how it is that they are when it comes to business. If they're good investors, if they're amazing entrepreneurs that I would want to do a collaboration with or a partnership, or if they're able to purchase from me. So since I don't know that, I may be missing some deals, or some great collaborations, but I can't be in everything just like that.
That's why it's always important to be constantly promoting yourself, constantly putting your information out there, like right now.
You know, it's also important how you meet a person, because you just mentioned that somebody referred you to me, and since the first time we spoke, we've had a good way of working together. So I think the way that you're introduced to a person, that also has a lot to do of how the relationship is going to go. So the business relationship, the partnership, the collaboration, it gets to a point where a lot of the conversations that we have would be for collaboration, but we want to make sure that we're talking to people that have the right channels of distribution to be able to actually make it more worthwhile, because we can get a recording, we can get things edited, we can get our story out there, but if only 10 people are going to listen to it, then it's great, but obviously there's a better way to get the information out there.
Are you big into like self-motivation? And
Yes, I am very big on that, and I'm big on starting something like NCNC, like NPire Enterprises, like Affluent Mentor, and creating more and more things that will fuel the brand, more projects that will fuel that brand. So this is talking about my brands. This is something that people are going to learn more about. If they didn't know that I had a book, that I am a mentor, that I've done, and I'm planning on doing more things like Battle of the Bands, and that I'm out there and want to be more out there as an influencer as well, with a powerful message that is like, I don't want to get too much into the acting or the entertainment part of it. I do, but not a lot, because I think what weighs more with me is creating and entrepreneurship.
I totally understand what you mean. I do have a question for you. In all your businesses, have you ever had those moments where you realize like whatever I'm doing is working? I'm having a lot of success in what I'm doing. Can you tell us about it, like a moment you've had where you realize like wow, I'm really good at what I'm doing, and things are going really awesome?
Even just following somebody should be a breakthrough for not only me, because for me it is a breakthrough. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm taking that step. It's a breakthrough when I remove followers, and it's a breakthrough when I add new followers strategically. So if people are able to see everything that I do, and I know that they're probably not that deep into what I do, but if they were to actually if they were to notice the new things that I do, and they know that it's strategic, then they're going to mentally walk that path with me to know that, okay, so that was a breakthrough thought, even though, because I'm not the type of person that will follow 5,000 people just like that. I think it would probably take a lot of years for me to be at that, if I do get at that. But no, I tend to, I feel like I take more bigger bites, but less bites. Like one big bite, if you could say it like that.
And you mean just like in general?
Yes, in general, because I try to think about the strategy and then make it public, because on social media, you're working in public. Anything that you create, that if you're following somebody or not following, or if I lock my profile, or if I am more active in one account, then it's just that's my video game for me. You know how there's people that will spend hours
it's funny you describe it like that. Yeah,
for me that's how it is. It's like a video game.
I've called it the same.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I guess remote control access to things in your life, I guess. That makes it feels like a Sims music video, or like a video game rather. I guess I should have described what kind of video game, but yeah, no, I've described it like that. Very cool.
So yes, and when I'm posting a story, and I'm sure a lot of people know, and you put music in the background, it's also a way, that's your art. That's your way of creating your expression. 100%. So I think it's great that you're using your voice, you're singing, you're putting that information out there, and people are able to search Tory and put a clip of the song in their stories.
Are you from the Northwest?
Mexico.
Oh, you're from Mexico.
I was born in Mexico, but I grew up in Tri-Cities.
Break down a little bit of your origin story of like who you are as a person. If somebody wanted to get a good bite size understanding of who you are as a person today, the businesswoman, what's the origin?
Well, I was born in Michoacan, Mexico.
Wow.
Michoacan, and I speak Spanish. I'm bilingual, Spanish and English. And my mom has 7 kids, 1 brother, 6 sisters with me. I'm the first daughter, so it's my brother and me. So I'm the first female. Pretty close. We're close in the sense where we haven't created much friction, too much friction. Everybody works. I'm the entrepreneur of the family. Yeah. But yes, I think that being somebody that started in sales and working at 16 and a half, sales at 18, and then being in the just money and having to be able to make money to invest, but also knowing that I'm not going to invest that much, because that's what business is. You want to invest smart.
When it comes to investing, do you got a little bit going on with everything investing? Like, do you got some crypto going on? Do you got stock options? What do you play around with when it comes to investing? What does that term mean to you?
Well, I do have my very little crypto. I have my a little bit of stock. I have my Vision Power account, which is also digital, earning interest from the money that I have, and that's going, and it earns a monthly. The Vision Power, the stock, I don't look at my stocks every day, and I probably don't even have enough to be oh my gosh, I have to look at it every day to get a...
Right.
Yeah. So I think a lot of my currency would be public currency, this, the things that we create and that we share. That's powerful currency, because
your
more
IP.
opportunity comes from that.
No, I totally agree. And the ability to have an audience, whenever you have some information that's urgent that you need to get out there, you're able to just drop that on them, and then the information gets spread out quickly. It's really truly a blessing to have the social media platforms that we do. It's funny too, because when I think about my relationship with social media, it starts all the way back with AOL. If you remember how AOL, it was a little chat thing that people used to chat with each other, instant messaging. I was hooked. I was one of those kids who got a little bit of Nintendo, a little bit of PlayStation or whatever, but when I got the ability to hop on a computer, that was a lot of fun. Next thing you know, I was I'd rather do this shit. So I was like online. That's when I started making music online and stuff like that too. I went from like AOL to like MySpace. I don't know if you remember MySpace.
Yes,
You
I do.
familiar?
I had a lot of fun with MySpace.
MySpace was
I had a lot of fun adding background music and stars and
Okay.
and whatever else to the presentation of a welcoming MySpace page.
Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them. Okay. You know the vibes then, 100%.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. That was fun, and
We had a lot of good times.
I think that's part of the that's the artistic side of it. It's like, okay, so I want to focus more on that, on being able to create good content and probably have somebody there to manage it, like answer the messages or things like that.
When you say create great content, what does that mean for someone who wants to like support you? They want to put some money, some time, some effort behind what you're doing. And they know that you're going to create content. What does that look like for them initially? Like when they first come in contact with your empire?
I'm flexible with whatever their niche is to be able to take pictures around their niche. I think being exported to their world, because my world is, I don't have any tattoos. I love dresses. I like heels. I don't have to dye my hair every 2 months. I don't have to put on like loads of makeup every day. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty simple. I would think if somebody had to describe me and they saw my profile on social media, it's like, well, she's not a girly girl, and I don't feel like I am. Like I do
overtly.
I'm not an overtly girly girl.
Right.
So I'm fairly simple, and I would enjoy being in the niche of the person and for pictures.
Okay.
Being able to live that for 5 hours or however long it takes for the photo shoot. But I would want the person to already have, these are the clothes that you're going to be wearing, and this is the poses, and then I just share them to different, because that would be the art. Because when I go home, I work on my business. But if I'm going to collaborate with somebody, I'm completely okay with going to their niche and then creating something in 2 to 3 hours and then going home and sharing it to my audience. I think that's powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're giving them access to your platform.
Yes, and that would be a collaboration that would stay there for as long as we agree, or just.
Who are you looking to work with? Like, what's your ideal collaboration?
You probably know Annie Doll. And you know Annie Doll? Okay, so we met through a nutrition company. She's this goth girl that I would think she's like always on Halloween spirit.
Yeah.
But for me, I think that's pretty cool. That for me, that's Halloween spirit.
Yeah.
So I would be okay with doing a collaboration with her and then kind of living that for a photo shoot.
What kind of collab? Like a photo collab?
Yeah, like a photo collab. Yeah, I don't want to do too much. Maybe a couple of videos, but not really. Just collaborate, like photo collab. Tag each other.
What's your favorite aspect of like that process of like bringing some photos together for someone? Like, what's your favorite part about it?
My favorite part is being able to take more pictures, because that's one thing that I don't do much of. Yeah. I'm a builder. Like, I like to create. I like to think ideas and make them, and then change up my what people see on in my platforms. So anything that people are able to see, I'm constantly moving them around, because that's what, like, if another person goes, they're going to be getting ideas from that. Right. And if my mind is changing, it will never change, because what I've spoken, what I've done, what I create, that doesn't go away. I think people know Nereida Cruz as a person. Right. And they know Nereida Cruz as a person that obviously I want to find love also. Right. 2 marriages, and I learned from that. 2 marriages and divorces. Right. 2 kids. And my life as a person changes, and I know that my business affects all of what I do, and I do want to put a lot of effort into my business. Therefore, I've made some adjustments with my with the way that I show up in public, and that's not going to change because that's who I am. So what I'm looking to do is pick up more speed in that sense, where I'm doing more collaborations, I'm taking more pictures, I'm in more photos, and I'm just being able to use my platforms consistently. And for that, I need more content.
100%. It's exciting to see you getting so active, and also your plans and goals that you have for yourself for the rest of the year and for years to come. Because I think that you're somebody who gets ideas and gets them quick.
And I also don't want my love life to affect my business and my business to affect my love life. So I had to make changes because of that.
That's interesting. Can we talk a little bit about that? And
about my love life?
Well, how hard is that, like, to create that balance? You know what I'm saying?
Well, this last relationship, for me, I felt like I did a lot in a very short amount of time because of the way I decided to structure my business. And that's how I became so digital, because I'm not going to go and work for somebody that's going to offer me what I don't want as money wise.
Right.
Like, I feel like I'm overqualified, and just thinking about going to just any random place and having to get a regular, I don't know, I would definitely get a sales job.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. So for me, I want to be able to pick up the pace in the collaborations, and also be able to get my numbers up on YouTube, on Facebook, TikTok, all of the, what influencers do. Mm-hmm. So businesses were created, and then my interests are growing. Mm-hmm. That's great, but I don't only want to earn interest on the money that I've already invested. I want the cash flow, the constant cash flow, and for that, I think it's important to have the platforms be a source of income as well.
Yeah.
That is one thing with a lot of content, but also the collaborations that come when we do the photo shoots, when we sit down and we talk, and then we are done with the photo shoot, and then we're like, hey, there's this opportunity over here that I want to talk to you about, and you're able to earn more. So that's why relationships are so important to me.
Yes, and you're really great at networking. I could definitely see you working a room full of people that you probably didn't know. I've always tried to pride myself in moving through the room full of vultures, so to speak. It's not so easy to navigate in some sort of situations like that. But on a business standpoint, I want to know a little bit more about what your views are for the future of what you want to do. Where do you see things in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see my business growing as if it were 15 years, because I'm going to focus on lots of digital work. I want to go to one event a month, but have it be a powerful event, like the ClickFunnels event, or 10X with Grant Cardone. Things that have to do with maybe Tony Robbins. Events that I'm able to network with key people and take strategic video and picture, and go to events like that, but not go to too many. Stay in as much as I can, and maybe 1 or 2 photo shoots a month, probably 1. I don't ask for too much. The things that I do, like this is going to go for 1 or 2 months. It'll be distributed, and people are going to be able to see it, and the power behind it will be for about 1 to 2 months. If more people get behind that, then it's going to grow a lot, because if people see me from here and then they want to do another collaboration, then there's going to be work for a long time. And if I only focus on this, then in 5 years, I see myself going to very strategic events and doing very strategic collaborations with musicians and influencers that have millions of followers. In one platform, of course, because I have them, but I have them in different platforms, and it's not my name. It's fan pages to Ariana Grande or meme pages, things that are mine that I have access to. But my name has about 350,000 followers at the moment. So
you have access to like fan pages?
Yes. And that's what is able to fuel a lot of projects. So
that's very interesting. So moving forward, any projects, anything that's coming up outside of like this awesome podcast that we're doing tonight, that you got coming down the pipe that you're working on, maybe 6 months down the road, a year down the road?
6 months and a year down the road, that is scheduled? No.
Nothing current.
No, nothing that is scheduled. I tend to schedule my things more at the spur of the moment type of thing. But I know I need to get better at that. But it's things that there's lots of events that I've gone that are powerful events that I didn't know I was going to be a part of until a day before or the day of. That has brought a lot of opportunity, lots of it's just been good, so I could do that often.
I have the advantage of being somewhat of like a Tasmanian devil. So whenever I have projects and events, it's usually like orbiting around me because I'm usually creating all these like waves and riffs that I have to like attend to constantly. That's how the merchandise works. That's how like if I'm doing a music video, that's how the music videos work. It's so funny because like people they'll look at that and be like, how do you stay organized? Like this is like chaos, right? But it's like, yeah, but it's like controlled chaos. It's kind of like everything kind of goes where it's supposed to go. And it's funny too because my dad, he has a business. He works on cars, an auto body shop, right? You go into his office and it is a huge mess everywhere. So I know exactly who the fuck I get it from, right? And you can't touch his shit because he freaks the fuck out. He's like, hey, don't touch my shit. I know where everything's at. Right?
Yeah.
And he's an OG, total old school. Like, it's so funny too because you throw on some old school hip hop and he'll start like popping and locking and shit. So he's got a youthful soul.
That's awesome.
I love him a lot. But I digress. I end up talking so many different things. So to bring it all back and all through and through, you're just such a fascinating person to me because like every time I talk to you, I always feel like I'm attending some sort of like master class too. I learn from you. Like, I feel like you're somebody who is constantly working on herself and figuring out like how to become more sharp, more dynamic. I'm always constantly trying to do that myself too. I'm trying to become a more well-read person, even though I don't have a lot of time to read book normally. I try to get the audiobooks down.
That's great.
I recommend somebody try an audiobook if you can't read. If you don't have the time to go read it, just throw an audiobook on. Clean, do some sit-ups, do some extra shit, whatever.
That helps a lot. The other day I was listening to a talk from the woman president of Mexico.
Yeah.
So it's helpful when you're able to listen to power figures, and it helps quite a bit.
Hey, she kind of gives me, you guys have similar vibes, you and her. Powerful woman, strong.
Thank you. I want to feel like I'm like I bring good vibes, but I also know that for some reason, I'm also business. I'm also somebody that loves to work on my projects. I'm also somebody that likes fairness and likes to like certain things. So
concrete morals.
Concrete morals.
Yeah, you have morals that are concrete, no nonsense. If you're involved with something, you want it to go through efficiently.
Yes.
So your time's not wasted. Nobody's time's wasted.
Yes.
You have a real good nature about yourself. I feel like you only want to be involved if you're gonna help.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I get that. I feel like I'm very similar too in a lot of ways. And what I'm learning too about myself is, at some stages you're not gonna I'm a big believer in the Lord, and I feel like at some stages in life you're not set up to hit the main goal. You know what I'm saying? At some stages you're gonna get part A or part B and part C, but not quite part A. And it's kind of like you have to carry bits and pieces of information and wisdom with you along along the journey, and that's when you put things together later on, and you're like, wow, oh, okay, I think I understand. Like, that's a little bit of wisdom right there. Like, I think I understand why, you have to do those kind of things, because not everything is black and white.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And when you have a family that you're growing, and you want more stability within that, but you also want to grow your project as an individual, then things can get a bit complicated. And the changes that I've made lately are so that it doesn't get as complicated, so that maybe it gets complicated at the start, but at least you know what you're getting into, so that it doesn't complicate as much along the way.
Yeah.
So that's important.
You feel that momentum that comes from the freedom of putting things back together in that way.
Yes.
And moving around back the way that you used to.
Yes.
I see you kind of smiling a little bit. I think
Yeah,
that you know
I
what
am
I mean.
absolutely smiling, because that's the way it is. It's like, oh yeah.
It's amazing, right? That feeling.
Yes.
I know what you mean. I know what it's like to feel
and to
that
understand that the years go by so quickly,
Yeah.
and we have to make the most of every single day so that we are in a better position every day. It's and not wasting time on things that shouldn't be something that we should waste time on.
Right.
Spend the time with projects that we love, family that we love.
We want to be constructive.
Yes.
We want to be building upwards. We want to be influencing, inspiring, even
Absolutely.
our little ones, our friends and family. We want to fit as much life inside of this container as we possibly can. And it's just tough because the only thing that we really have is our currency, is our time and our work.
As an entrepreneur, yes. That's why we want to do things that will give it more value.
Well, I have you. 3 things that every entrepreneur should keep in mind from you. If you had to give out 3 pieces of information, anything.
The project that you start becomes your brand. It's your brand, and build onto that. Structure as best possible, and know that your business will affect your family life, and your family life will affect your business. And for the people that you have around you to know that, and to be accepting of it, and to know that you're there to work in a constructive way. And if you have kids, even get the kids involved in some way. Know that they're listening and watching everything that we do. So that is something that we also have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So that if we think we're adults and I can do whatever the hell I want, well, there's kids that are watching us.
And there's consequences.
Yes. And they are getting information from you that could benefit them or affect them. And we hope that the information that we get out there benefits them in a positive way. But once the information's out there, they decide what they're going to do with that information and how they're going to carry what they saw or heard forward. So that's the 2. And 3. Okay, so 3 is that everything that we put, and obviously this made it so easy because you have that in your background there that says My Chemical Romance.
Uh-huh.
Everything that we associate ourselves with gives us a certain energy.
Okay.
And that's why we have to be so strategic in what we want to be a part of.
Ooh, I like that.
And because it does affect. So if them reading or watching through a phone or a laptop or a television affects them, now imagine how it can affect being in the same room or being in the same conference, or wherever it is that the people are in person. It's a lot of energy transfer. So it's important to choose who it is that we're gonna be in the same room with, because we are creatures of electricity. Oh my God, I picked the worst word to say, but we are pretty it's I guess chemical, but it's also it's chemistry, and it's be attentive of what it is that you feel or what it is that you put your energy in. Yes, hopefully that made sense.
No, it definitely doesn't make sense. What's some advice that you can give to like the young female entrepreneurs that could listen to this podcast and maybe they're at the place that you were at when you're very young, just beginning your journey, trying to figure out just how you wanted to navigate through some of these things? Like, do you have anything you could mention to them?
Female entrepreneurs, I would say definitely put 100% into your business. And when you're already going to be in a relationship, know that the person you're with will be another person that is 100% into his projects and business. So that there's that something that they stay busy in, and then they also make time for themselves so that they can actually have a relationship, but be able to balance that as well. And I think to know how many kids you want to begin with would be important. Yeah. And if you want kids, because if, let's say she wants kids and he doesn't, I mean, those are always things that can change, but most of the time, especially when you categorize yourself as an entrepreneur, you try to be as solid as possible with the words that you speak. And if you say once that you don't want kids or you do want kids,
right,
then they tend to kind of be firm about that for a very long time.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to get into a relationship with somebody and you are a business person, know that that's something that will affect. But if I were to only talk about a young woman entrepreneur and not think about the fact that they're going to want to get into a relationship, because that's like the normal,
right?
That's what I consider normal, and that's what it gets to become. Put 100% into it. It'll evolve. It'll definitely evolve, and don't give up, and build digitally. It'll stay there. You'll have it. Everything's people are able to look at the things that you do. Everything is very out there. It's public information. Every post, everything is public information.
Yeah, so take the digital stuff serious.
Yes, take the digital stuff serious, because like me, I started with a coffee shop. It takes a lot. I had to go digital just to give publicity about my coffee shop. So it always becomes digital anyway. So, and when I started my mentorship, my for business mentorship, that's you're giving publicity to your offer. So I had to be making videos, 45 minutes, 30-minute videos, and it always becomes digital. People are always knowing what you're doing. If you're in sales,
yeah,
and I know that there's not a big percentage of women that are in sales, but there's a reason for that also, because a lot of women like me, when I really understood that sales was most likely talking to another man, and the lines could get blurred between keeping it super professional. It puts a bad taste in your mouth, because you're there because you want money.
Yeah.
And then it becomes something that's more personal.
Like the potential for that, is that what you're saying?
The sales potential?
Like the potential for things to get inappropriate.
Yes. There, especially for an entrepreneur.
It's just it's higher.
Me as the head of my company, and if I don't have 5 salespeople that can go and make the sale for me, then
you have to go through.
Then I have to make the sale, and it can get complicated that way. For women, I think it gets. I know I got to the point where I was wanting to sell my $35,000 offer, and it takes going to 5-8 places, and the sale doesn't close right away, and that's time it's just time consuming, energy, and things just don't go through as smoothly if I go in person. And if I try to do it online, it definitely doesn't go through as fast. So it's lots of being in front of a camera, talking about your offer.
I know that it's a tough thing to navigate through, dealing with like the male ego and some of the more inappropriate some interactions that you might have to deal with. I used to see a lot of it just working customer service, for years and years and years, working closely, with some of our coworkers who had to go through some of the things. They're not going to bring that to me. I'm not going to hear those kind of conversations because they're going to treat me differently, obviously, right? And that never fell flat on me. I always knew that. So the best thing that I could do was to kind of always try to be right there for my friends who might need me, to back them up, because sometimes these situations could get physical. They can get very a lot of animosity. But yeah.
So I think that's the reason why a lot of people also go digital, and they know that they're able to influence in a more positive way through being an influencer for a topic that you feel strongly about. And that's also very powerful. And collaborations with strategic people is also, it could also be a $35,000 deal. Because if I were to put a price on everything that I've created, that I'm willing to just do a collaboration with,
right,
that also gets expensive.
No, 100%.
So it's important to be able to work smart as well, and just grow the audience, grow the people, the network that you have, and then just build in that way. It's smart, it's powerful, it's what you love to do, and it also has lots of value.
No, 100%. If somebody wanted to work with you locally in the Tri-Cities with 509, if they wanted to reach out for you for your services, what's the easiest way for them to do so?
If they wanted to pay me for my service, it would be for business mentorship and influencing through Affluent Mentor. And that we get a strategy going for them to be in a very powerful position digitally, for them to be able to get more followers in their page and have their online presence better, and then get them situated with strategic partners, JV partnerships where they can also just meet them and get value from that. So that would be something.
So you have services where if people wanted to beef up their online presence, so to speak, they can come to you directly. And work with you with your strategic partners to get themselves more modernized or aligned, so to speak.
Yes. So they can have just a powerful online presence, and we can also do collaborations.
Very awesome. I know that in the Tri-Cities, there's a lot of people who they come up to me and they say, "Hey, I just need a direction. Show me who your plug is for this." Or who does this for you? Who does that for you? And I have all these resources that I don't gatekeep, because I'm hurting my friends' businesses if I'm preventing them from getting new clientele. And that's what it is a lot of times. A lot of times people they see that you're making merchandise, so they want to go to your merchandise person. And you give that information up, because, do what you will with that connection, that's outside of my hands at that point, but it's very important to share your resources. You don't want to be somebody who gatekeeps. I think that's always a bad look.
Yes, I think it's important to be able to do collaborations and to give people the information. That's what I mean by the things that we are a part of, they show up online. We try to have it be as positive as possible, but I'm also not a person that I am business, but I consider myself a public figure. Like radio station, I go to events and we'll go on stage and talk to the crowd. So there is a bit of both there, and I plan on doing more of that with the people that I work with. I know that I need to get content out there. I don't know that people have seen me since the last selfie I took.
Yeah.
And I tend to only take selfies, so that's why photography is very important.
No, definitely.
Be able to work with a certain niche and take pictures with a certain wardrobe that I don't normally wear. That'd be good.
No, 100%. So that's what your primary focus is going to be.
More content. Yes, more
Creating.
content. And this is fun fun, easy content, having a conversation about our projects and some personal there. But yeah, that's the kind of things that I like. That in 45 minutes we can create something good.
Absolutely. Okay, real quickly, where can people find you online? What are all your usernames, your handles? People want to find you.
Nereida Cruz, and on YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok.
Awesome. I really love the conversation with it. It was short but sweet. I feel like down the road we'll have another conversation here, and we'll see how things are going. But yeah, thanks again for being on Tri-Town Tory's Tory Talk podcast, part of the Tri-City Mixtape Network, and one love.
Thank you so much. Ow!